but stand out among all of them is Power BI because so I started my career in finance field, then I shifted in research field, and then I shifted in BI industry. If let's say if I want to create a very gradient or colorful design or dashboard, I cannot do that. That is not professional. No one wants to see that. But I think eventually it will turn into something where because AI will come, there will be automated way to get the same insights quickly. But let's say you want to create financial dashboards. So financial dashboard data sets come very differently. They want to do variance analysis. So when you're doing a variance analysis, variance means difference. Difference means there is going to be a positive value and negative value. I only pick 2 or 3 primary color, never more than 3. And then my entire report is filled with different kind of grays and different kind of white. But yeah, I think for me, Power BI, and I think for you also, Power BI was easy to discover the kind. Don't just restrict yourself again with one career. Try to blend it and mix different careers until you find what you really like. Like as a fresher, because one thing I really like is let's say there's a challenge, there's a professional also participate in the same challenge as equal and student also. Backend work in Power BI, no one get to see the Power Query you are doing, the data manipulation, the tags you are writing. You only get to see the pretty good stuff on the report. But we are not simple people. Like we are telling that we are BI analysts, we are data analysts, we understand visualization. So all the complex fancy visualizations you see, it is for that is not mandatory. Even without that, if you can prove your skills just by pure knowledge that you have and the skills you have, you don't really need a that kind of attitude in yourself only will help you build your career. Okay, this person didn't knew, but they will keep on trying. They were doing their own research and coming with solutions. So as a fresher, I think one thing you can do is be proactive, ask questions, do your own research. Because the skill set is same. They want someone to develop a Power BI to create a report to do the data analysis. If you can do that same thing from India, they won't have any problem to hiring you. As of now, even there are 200 charts available. I don't think everyone knows those 200 charts. Everyone uses the same pie chart, bar chart.
Let me introduce our special guest today, Kavita Behera. She is a product manager leading a team of developers and testers to create an amazing visual solution for Power BI. Along with her role, Kavita is a community ambassador at Onyx Data, where she actively engages with the Power BI community. She is also the author of #The Weekly Charts and a public speaker, sharing insights on design thinking and data visualization. She has been recognized as a top voice on LinkedIn, and we are excited to have her here today. Let's give warm welcome to Kavita Behera. Hello, Kavita ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Chaitanya. I'm good.
First of all, I would like thank you for coming to my podcast and giving your prestigious time to share your knowledge and all the experience that you have till now. This experience you are going to share us with today, that will be really helpful for all the data aspirants or data visualization students who want to become a good data visualization engineer in future. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. And I think this is one of the most common question I get on LinkedIn as well. Like, we want to start our career in data visualization, how we can do that. So I think this podcast will really help them or for all those people that, how they can start and I can try to help as much as I can.
Okay, so ma'am, my first point of discussion is I want to know more about your education background and professional journey. How you started your education journey and how you ended up with your education journey and how you entered your professional journey and how is your professional journey right now going on? What ups and downs you go through from your education journey?
I can start from very beginning. So I have done my schooling from a government school. So I have done my education from Delhi. So I have done my schooling in a government school. After that, I have done BCom honors from Delhi University. So BCom honors is Bachelor in Commerce. So it is a finance education. So that is all education wise I have done. I haven't done any masters or any higher education after that. Then I immediately started my professional journey because I wanted to see the work side of it. So I started my career in finance field. Then I shifted in research field and then I shifted in BI industry. So I've switched my industry, not just my career or the job route, but my industry altogether 3 times. And while doing so, basically when I started doing my first job, I see which part of it I like more, which part I don't like. And whatever I like more, I started building more skills and certification and specific courses in that area. And slowly that way, I got my second job, third job, and I work in BI industry, and I like this career, and I think this is the right trajectory for. So yeah, that is in just what I how I completed my journey.
So, ma'am, next point I want to discuss you with that is very important. That at what point of your life you get know that I am made for the data visualization or Power BI? Because there are many tools in the market right now about the data visualization, Tableau, Google Studio, Power BI, QuickSense. But how you get to know that yes, I am made for Power BI?
Oh, that is a really good question. When I was also exploring that I like data industry, I don't want to restrict myself with one tool. So I was also trying multiple tools at that point. So I've learned Power BI, Tableau, little bit of ClickSense. There is some smaller tools as well. Like in Canva also they have data visualization. There is Flourish, Data Wrapper. So there are plethora of tools out there. And because at that point I was also curious, I was trying to learn all of them. But what stand out among all of them is Power BI, because itself that tool was very easy compared to remaining tool. That is first thing I always felt. The way they have ETL integration, and it just when you use Power BI, it automatically wires you in all the Microsoft 365 tool. So that kind of convenience, I think it's not for me, but it's how Power BI has built themselves as a tool. It became a very easy choice for me. That among all of it just with Power BI, I feel more connected. It is easy for me to publish same content on PowerPoint, on OneDrive, or multiple areas. And that's how I realized, okay, among all the tools, I am more comfortable with Power BI. I'm able to understand this tool, and then I shifted and yeah, stick to Power BI as my tool.
So it's very important that even I like the Power BI more because also their interface is too easy more than other data visualization tools. And nowadays the Copilot is also integrated in Power BI. So if you get any query or any doubt while doing your work, you don't have to go on YouTube or to Google to search any queries or doubts. You will get the answer from Copilot only easily. That's why I feel like Power BI is more convenient for me for my work.
Power BI is that, and another thing I really feel good about Power BI is they have made it free for their desktop version is free. So any student, anyone who wants to learn but don't have that resources, they can simply just download the app and access all the features. Until you want to publish something, then the pro plans and premium plans start getting come into picture. But as a user or as a learner, there is no restriction that they want to learn you all those content. That is, and plus their internal team, they share a lot of resource learning content, how to do certain things from their own channel. So it just overall they encourage that learning part, which automatically makes it easier to, okay, I'm interested in Power BI, I'm getting that content to learn, so I'm developing more. If I do the same thing on Tableau, maybe I feel restriction on where to find that content. If I'm facing that, maybe won't able to grow to the next step. So that really created an impact to everyone's journey. But yeah, I think for me, Power BI, and I think for you also, Power BI was easy to discover the content.
Yeah, I want to share one experience that with you. When I get to know more about the Power BI, before that I work on tab, but when I get to know about Power BI, because of my interest and I don't know because of other reasons, the entire Power BI I learned like all the dashboard creation and all the query section I learned within 2 days, like Saturday, Sunday, all the Power BI from starting to end. I think that was means first of all I would more interested in that to learn. Because of that, my interest get more, and within the 2 days I completed entire all the series of the Power BI from the YouTube. When I was in 2020, right? Yeah, no, 2019. That time it was not more advanced also Power BI, but yeah, I
Yeah.
get interested in more.
So
So
you left Tableau and you went to Power BI delivery. Like I have heard a lot of people, once they start using Tableau, because Tableau visualization is really like enhanced or advanced, so they never switch from Tableau to Power BI because of those visualization and capabilities.
see, first when I using the Tableau, that time I know that yeah, I think the Tableau is easy and I can use for the large data set and all the things. But when I know more about the Power BI, time I learn about the Power BI, and for me, I don't know, but it is easy to access. I think more than the Tableau. And 2019-20, I'm talking about, not about the current situation. That time I feel that it is easy for me, and it is taking less time to create the dashboards or anything, and it's depend upon their system also, because that time the Tableau little get hang sometimes, but the Power BI is smooth working. From that, yeah, as per the requirement, we do the reports and we submit. More about the Power BI is also sufficient, good for the all the stakeholders and the clients to use. More about the Power BI. My next point is, ma'am, that I want to discuss you that you serve the many manager posts like product manager, and also you are the more experienced in that. So we want to know more about depth about about your professional journey right now going on. In which company you're working right now, we want to know about that and how that company helps you in the professional growth.
So right now I'm product manager at Lumen. So in that I work specifically on their product info river analytics plus. So that is what I do. And as a product manager, my day-to-day role is to improve that product quality and how to make it more usable and accessible for users. So one thing I just told you is people love Tableau because of their data visualization capability. They have advanced visualization. Once you know the tool, you can create endless things in Tab. The same when it comes to Power BI, that at that part, I see Power BI is yet to improve itself. Like it is still improving right now. If you see, Miguel Myers has started its like entire Power BI ideas where he's improving the visualization part of it. But apart from that, I still feel there are a lot of visualization capabilities that we can offer and introduce. So that as a product manager, the product I create, InfoRiver Analytics, it is used as a custom visual on Power BI. So my entire goal is to have a visual that offer you end-to-end capability. You can create any visualization without any limitation, but also not, you don't have to go and write an extensive code, learn a new language, but you can do it, just with a simple user interface, but achieve anything as whatever you want to have, like a dynamic or simple. So that is the goal or aim I want to achieve with the product. And in my day-to-day role, if I tell you as a product manager, what you have to do is you need to be really good with the research part of it. When you are developing a product, you are the person who knows the user the best. You have to be very aware of your market for which you are developing the product. It could be anything. Like for me, it is BI industry. For someone else, it could be a juice or a soap or anything could be your product. So whatever is your product, be very aware of what is going in the market. Always do additional research. And once you have that content ready, what you want to do as a product manager, I have blessed with a wonderful team. Like I have good developer, designer, but what tasks to assign them, how I can utilize them to create that product, how I can mix their different skills to get the right vision. That all a product manager has to do. So how you can channelize all the different elements and deliver your idea, the vision you have. That is something goes into day-to-day work. That is, I think, what I do on it whenever.
It's so huge, your roles and responsibilities, I think.
Yeah, I think it is fun. Although I now I'm a product manager, but since starting, even when I was a finance person or when I was a researcher, this I think everyone should invite in their work routine is never stop researching or never stop how you can improve it better. So that
Upgrading
everything
yourself.
yeah, every task you do, think of your task as your product. That even if you're creating, let's say, a report, a article, that article is your product, whatever you are delivering. So how you can improve it further, how you can optimize it further, is there a way to automate it? If you ask those questions and try to resolve it, that product you are developing. Now, it could be anything. Like, as I said, it could be a report. And eventually, once you grow, you have that product mindset. And eventually, I think you can also go into a product management role altogether.
So, ma'am, my next point I want to discuss with you is very important. That is about the personal project. In our field, in data visualization field, doing the personal projects is a very crucial role to get the job. Okay, so I want to know that what personal projects you've done when you are entering industry, and what you feel that what personal projects the students or the aspirants they have to do in 2024 to get the better job in the BI industry or the data visualization industry.
So when I was starting, again, I was starting a while back when Power BI is also developing, like small features was very new, very unique at that point of time. So I have done two kinds of project in my time. One, when you work with company, you're always restrictive with the work because you are creating whatever your client want. You cannot go very creative, innovative there. You have to deliver what is either your manager or client wants. So, but if, let's say, if I want to create a very gradient or colorful design or dashboard, I cannot do that. That is not professional. No one wants to see that. So when you go for your own portfolio, always look for two things. First is what really excites you, what you want to learn and get better. Let's say you want to learn a specific kind of report, you want to write a certain kind of DAX, you want to create a field parameter. Anything that you feel like, okay, this is what I like, I want to explore this area numbers. See those things and start building those reports. It will help you learn the concepts better. That is the first type where you are creating projects to learn for yourself. Second type of project, start creating projects for the market you want to go. Let's say you want to create or you want to build your career or want a job in research domain. So when you're creating a dashboard, think of research related topics. Like what could be research related topics? So one of the common at 2020 was COVID, how COVID is impacting countries, how GDP is impacting countries, because these are topics someone do research. Research topic could be how we done a research for from 100 people, how they like a certain product or not. If you have seen those voting kind of data sets as well, that I like this product or I like B option, C option. So the data set in itself, the format is very different. So if you build a report on those topics, the viewer will automatically understand, okay, this person not just only knows the report, but also understand the research industry or what kind of data set requirement we have, plus what kind of insights you want to gather. This is one example. Let's say you want to create financial dashboards. So financial dashboard data sets come very differently. They want to do variance analysis. They want to see P&L, cash flow. So it in itself, the concept or the knowledge of that topic, it's you can see different. At one point, we are telling, out of these four options, 50% of audience want product A, right? It is a poll kind of question. The other side, you are talking about the cash inflow in debt ratio, that, how much cash we have at the end. We did a better profit, our operating cost is. So the technical knowledge itself is changing. So depend on which career, like which field you want to grow yourself, pick those topic, create dashboard. So then your technical knowledge will also improve. Yeah, these are the two things that you can do right now. And I used to do at my time as well.
Personal projects plays the very crucial role to go through our profile, because many of the HR, while technical round or only third round, they look into our profile, that what the project actually we have done, and most of the questions they ask from our project only, more than about the technical questions or anything question, don't like other questions.
HR is still like they do the first round of like shortlisting of candidate using the traditional method, but the managers or the people who are actually going to work with that second or third level of interview, and that place these reports really help, because if you see a dashboard to HR, they will just see if it is pretty or not. But if you show it to a technical person, that person will immediately see, okay, this person is using maybe a button at this place, maybe he's using a field parameter, this person has created its own tags. There's no feature like this to filter a data. So that person will immediately spot the technical aspects that you have created, and then how fast your report is, or how slow your report load time is. Those pointer sort of things. So at that point, it really help you or stand you out among other candidates.
And also, in last conversation, you say that creating the report is not about the creating like many like fancy or anything. You have to focus on the aspects, what aspects you are adding in the dashboard or the report. Okay, as per the client's requirement or the stakeholders' requirement. So it is very important for all the students. They should keep in the mind that don't go with the colorful dashboards or the like a fancy dashboard. Like I can also say.
I mean, they can still go if you want to do experiment or you like colors. Like there's no wrong and right if you are just playing around. But eventually, when you do it in professional work, you will always see they want a plain report. They all the time they want a very plain, minimal report as much as possible. So that is business. But if you want to build your own brand, or you want to stand out among the crowd, feel free to use anything and try a different thing. Maybe eventually set a benchmark. Okay, this is how you're supposed to use a lot of colors in a dashboard. But till now, the good practice is, and everyone wants simple dashboard. It's just easy to convince or convey your point. But never stop experimenting.
Yeah, ma'am. Is there any resources like any website or any software that help us to get the proper color for our dashboard, or just suggest us the proper way of making the dashboard?
There are many resources. One of my favorite resources, Dribble. Like Dribble, you can always go for inspiration. Before, I used to use coolers.com. I think there is this platform for color picker, and there were multiple AI color picker also came over the time. But again, eventually over the time, I just go with two or three specific, like I have websites where I just go material.coin, something like that is I am unable to recall it, but I go to that platform, there's specific color, and I always pick the color, like I only pick two or three primary color, never more than three. And then my entire report is filled with different kind of grays and different kind of white. So I never never go beyond 3 colors, and I can pick any 3 color like blue, yellow, orange, and then I'll build my entire report. So just keep it very clean. It looks good, and you don't even have to bother about too many colors. But yeah, be very careful about gray colors. Like that gray really create an impact. Like you have gray with a hint of blue, a hint of purple, a hint of white. So that subtle gray can create a major impact on your report. Like I like to play with gray zone.
Means I also saw the video on you that when you are selecting the color, you should focus on a aspect. Like if you are getting if you are presenting any bar graph regarding the loss, you should show the color of the red. If you are getting the profit, you should show the color of the green. So how it really matters means
Yes, it matters. The colors where you are using in which concept, that color matters. So this the example you have told, that is the variance analysis. So when you are doing a variance analysis, variance means difference. Difference means there is going to be a positive value, negative value. So the best colors you should use is green or red or blue or orange. Like these are colors people generally subject. Okay, this is positive, this is negative. This is one kind of analysis. The another kind of analysis is where you want to highlight your top two, top one, like where you have a ranking kind of data. In ranking, always use one prominent color and remaining gray. Let's say you have 10 bars, highlight your top one or top two bar in the like red color, or your primary color, it could be blue, and remaining in gray or white color. This automatically, when a user is reading that report, they will see, okay, this is the highest one. This is the second kind of where you are doing ranking, as well as you are trying to highlight the top two value. There is third kind of value which is ranked, but without any, like you are not highlighting any specific point. So in that you use sequential color scheme. So sequential is the color goes from max to min within same family. So if you take blue color, so it will start from dark blue to light, and it will show within your dashboard, or sorry, within your bar, tree map, whatever visual you are using. So but it helps you. It immediately, wherever you see a dark color, you will understand, okay, this is the highest value. Wherever you will see a light color, you automatically, your brain will tell you that, okay, this is the light color. So you don't have to read value, you don't have to read too much into chart. It just tells you, okay, this is the most highest maximum area, and this is the minimum area. That is the purpose of sequential exam. Now there is another scheme which is divergent. You use divergent color where you want to highlight the bottom values as well as top value. Like my previous example, I said, like let's say you have 10 products and you want to highlight top two. So what you will do, you just highlight the top two in the your primary color and keep remaining. Let's say you want to highlight top two and bottom. So in that case, you should use a diverging color scheme. So how a diverging color scheme will look like, let's say you have red color at the bottom, yellow in the middle, and green at the top. So when you create a gradient, what will happen is green will always be a dark color at the starting, red will always be a dark color at the end, and your middle, because you have taken light yellow, which is a very light color, basically that is invisible to you. When you see that visually on a chart or a map, that color will be invisible. So automatically, when you're consuming that visual from just color point of view, you don't have data label, nothing you are reading, your focus will automatically go to the green color and red color throughout your visual. Yellow will automatically, your brain will mute that color. Okay, this is not important. So now in this story, you are telling that, these are the highest area, these are the bottom. The fourth color scheme we have is qualitative color scheme. Now qualitative color scheme is where everything is important. Everything is a unique category where you want to draw a comparison out of it. For example, let's take the example of you're doing a sales by region. So you have south, east, west, north, 4 region. So the 4 region, you don't want to tell, okay, south is better or east is better. You don't want to draw any comparison between them. So you will give all 4 of them a different color to just, identify, okay, give them some kind of identity. And whatever identity you give, let's say you said that, south is black color in my report. So throughout your report, wherever you are using south in a context, use that same black color. So it is now black is equal to south. You have given it a identity by color. So that is the qualitative scheme that you can use where your color becomes the identity of your brand. So these are the different color schemes, the way you can use and visualize your report. And there are others as well you can play around, but these are the most common ones that will always help.
Yes, because when we notice this thing that our stakeholders, like our clients, is a non-tech background and they are not much educated, that they because our clients are from US and they hold the supermarket, and their owners are like they want the clear report and the easily visualization. When we start adding this type of color, or we think that color like loss for the red and the green for the, we categorize these things, their review is really amazing to us, that they easily understand the report, they can make the results easily, because this thing matters to while choosing the this type of color in your report.
Yes, because it is like not just this, it is a design thing like user attention span. It is very short in any field. They don't have time to spend that much on anything. So when they just see, they want to just quickly catch, okay, but they are trying to highlight, see those important area and just consume the value. So color is the most important way you can tell them, okay, highlight green, highlight red, highlight this color. So you're just using the colors to highlight, okay, see this, and that's that's how fast they will read the report and get to the decision, or the information they want to consume. So that is always the idea with color. And the more, if you see, we are always trying to use color to highlight something, and then we use always a flat color or a dull color. You don't see this is there, data is there, but it is not really important or for you to focus on. So that kind of design will always help for them to just consume that data very.
Yes, ma'am. So my next point I want to discuss with you regarding the job scenario market. When you entered in a market as a fresher, what was the situation going on in the job market, and how you see this situation change in a 2024 and upcoming in 2025? How is the difference in between these two situations? We want the tips and tips for this.
So when I was starting my career, this industry itself was very new. Everyone was just trying to learn. Okay, the BI world was not that common. People didn't know, should we call ourselves data analysts, BI analysts, data scientists. Everything was very blurred. But over the time, I think these roles over the years has become very clear, that who is a data analyst, who is a BI analyst, so and so. I think now there is much clarity, and this role demand has like in recent time has grown. Since I actually have started working in this industry, I've seen a peak or a growth, that the demand is growing up, the skills and the development is going up. But I do suspect that in coming years there will be either a stagnant phase or something, where there is not more innovation is happening. So what else we can do? So I think that will come in 5 to 10 years. But as of now, I see a growth is happening. Everyone is looking for good data analysts, people in their company, even if it is a small company, big company, someone to crunch their data and get insights out of it, or just to manage their data. So I think this role as of now is a growing role, but I think eventually it will turn into something where, because AI will come, there will be automated way to get the same insights quickly. So there will be a phase like that, but as of now, I think that it is something high growth.
Okay, so nowadays the job market is too competitive. The competition is too high in this market.
Because now everyone has discovered this as a career prospect, so people are learning the tools, and then everyone is doing kind of like not same thing, like they know they have to create a portfolio, they have to do certain thing, and the demand is going. So as a fresher, what you can do is you can find your unique take, what really makes you special, but you like specifically in that domain, and don't just restrict yourself again with one career. Try to blend it and mix different careers until you find what you really like.
Yeah, so going through your profile, I noticed that one thing, that Miss Kavita, PowerBI ambassador. Okay, so we want to know more about this thing. How you contribute yourself to this community, like as a PowerBI ambassador, and how does the students or aspirants get help from it?
Again, 3 4 years back, I am part of Onyx Data Data Challenge Ambassador team. So at that point, because everyone was learning it, the Power Base was very like fresh at that point of time. So even the experts you see as of today, they were also learning the same basic concept, that how to add a button, how to add an image in a button, how to make it actionable, like very small topics. But at that point, because it was a new feature, it is the like topic of the scene. So at that time, with Leon, I joined Onyx Data team. The idea was to encourage people to learn different concepts, to share different data sets. As I told you, you need to to build a portfolio based on different industry and which different industry, what kind of data they consume and how to build report. The challenge everyone used to face is, okay, they don't know what kind of data set a hotel industry is consuming versus a pharma industry consuming versus a finance industry is consuming. So with this data challenge, I used to help them with, providing right data set, right examples, and, the use cases which help them to create that portfolio. So that's how the journey started. And it's been 4 years. I try to be as active with the community. And every month we see around 100, 200 people joining the challenge, trying to, create different innovative solution with the same data set. Like every month I get amazed. Okay, it is the same data set, but how differently each of our mind work. Like I cannot say like one report is very good, one is very bad. Like everyone has a unique take of it. Some pick a specific insight, some do a full on summary report. So again, it is the different take that makes our report special. And we see, okay, the insights are quite different. Someone just telling us about one specific factor, but someone is just giving us a top to bottom approach. So that is very interesting, and it is a great source of inspiration and learning, even for a new person as well.
Yes, ma'am. Because nowadays the updating yourself is very important, and the main thing that everyone wants is the good mentor. Okay, as a mentor, you're working there. So if I am a student, that what the thing is in my mind that more than the class or the more than the college or the more than the any influencer YouTuber, I want to get the insights or the tips directly from the person who is doing actual job there. Okay, so that is very important nowadays. That going through that different way, that going with the actual way, that you will share the actual insight because of that. So this will be really helpful for all the students.
And I should think everyone should participate in their challenges, at least if they are trying to learn. Because one thing I really like is, let's say there's a challenge, there's a professional also participate in the same challenge as equal, and student also. So maybe your report won't be as good as a professional who has submitted an entry, but you can always learn from that report. Hey, this is the same data, but how that professional person came to this conclusion versus my conclusion. So you maybe it will be an eye opener, and you get to see, how better or how good you are, that you think really well among the crowd. That could be one insight. Or another thing, you can always get inspiration. Okay, hey, I was thinking to create a pie chart for this kind of visual, but see, this person has used, let's say, a waterfall, and waterfall is giving a better insight. So it's a constant learning for you. But if you're just viewing that report, maybe you will never realize that the original data, that what kind of manipulation that person has done versus you have done to, get that specific result. So that back end work in Power BI, no one get to see the Power Query you are doing, the data manipulation, or the tags you are writing. You only get to see the pretty good stuff on the report. So once you start participating, you will get that back end idea as well. Okay, there was no actual column as cost in the report. This person has done some calculation to calculate this cost value. So that's where, like, I think data challenges help you get that correct insight.
So next point I want to discuss about the impact of weekly chart. That could you tell more us about the inspiration behind the weekly chart and how it contribute to the Power BI community? Because I saw the post of your weekly chart on the LinkedIn, so we want to know more about it.
I'm a LinkedIn top voice or Power BI expert, but I specifically like to position myself on data visualization side rather than the technical aspect of it, DAX and other thing. Like I always, like, when I was also learning, I knew which part of it, excites me more, and it was always the data visualization end. I started exploring this industry. I get to know there are so many different chart types. Every chart type has a different use case. I got like really overwhelmed with the information. Okay, there were so many possibilities that we didn't knew. A lot of things Power BI do not offer. A lot of things there was no clarity of information over the internet. So I thought, let's start a weekly practice where they were, as of now, even there are 200 charts available. I don't think everyone knows those 200 chart. Everyone use the same pie chart, bar chart, common tree map, the very basic chart that we have. Even if I can publish about 200 chart and some bit of it, that will be really interesting. So I took a lot of really interesting chart every week. I used to talk about that chart, three variations. Like if you don't want to use this chart, the alternative you can use, when you should use, good practices, and then one example. So example will help you, like, okay, this is how we are using. So I started this practice every week. I think for about 1 year I did this, and within 1 year I was using hashtag weekly chart on LinkedIn, and I think the people started following that hashtag itself, and now I think there is around 500, 600 people who follow this hashtag just for weekly chart content. So that's how it grew up. But I think eventually I had to stop it for other work and other reason. But I still, whenever I see a unique chart or anything which, which is unconventional, I post about it. Like recently, I posted about Merrimack chart and how it is different yet same with scatter plot. So whenever I see anything about chart, which excites me, and I feel like okay, people might not be aware of something about something like this exists, I do go and post about it. So that's what weekly chart stands for. That if there is a unique chart, I want to talk about it, post about it, and tell people, this exists. Maybe you won't use it, maybe your end user won't use it, but every chart has a specific use case. Like there is a specific data set, a use case where you can employ that chart, and it will give you insights, hidden insights that otherwise you could not, discover. So
Yeah, even I don't know there's the 200 charts in the Power BI, but yeah, surely we have to explore this because at the end they will only make our work easy because of that chart. We have to understand that.
yes, because for end user, even I will recommend always use the simple chart, because end users never don't know how to read a chart. They understand only bar chart, common pie chart, column chart, very very simple charts, or you have to highlight it very properly. But we are not simple people. Like we are telling that we are BI analysts, we are data analysts. We understand visualization. So all the complex fancy visualizations you see, it is for your own purpose. Like you don't confuse that, okay, who will use this complicated visual? You will use it, you will discover that insight. And once you have discovered, okay, this is what happening in this data, you will think of a way to communicate this for your end user. But until you don't know what is going on with this data, how will you tell your end user? You will always create a very basic report. So for your own exploration, I think learning different visualization techniques is very important. But just because you discover 10 points, don't show those 10 points to your end user. Ki, I found these 10 insights from your report. Maybe for them, only two of those are important. So for never overwhelm your end user, always show them the crucial part, but be overwhelmed. Like you should know everything about what is going on with this data. Like if whether it is an Excel sheet or it is 100 column, 10,000 row data or anything, you should know everything that is going within that report. So I think different visualization techniques really help. In Power BI, there is still limitation, but when you use different tools like the Info River we have, it has around 50 plus and more visualization within that visual. So when I use it, I can use the same data set in 10 different ways until I see something is clicking or something is out of the picture, and then that just gives you the insight. Okay, this is different. You can do that.
And the very important point next that I want to know more about that is your LinkedIn top voice, because many of the profiles on LinkedIn, they have the badge of the top data management voice or top data visualization voice, but your badge is like LinkedIn top voice. So how is the journey to get this badge, and hot struggle or hot things you have contributed to the community to get this badge? And if anyone wants to get this badge in any specific field, what things they should follow?
So first of all, yeah, I should thank LinkedIn that one day I got this badge. Even I was really happy to see that. So one thing I remember that I used to do is, apart from posting my own content and, helping community, like I like to do that part whenever I get time, share my things. I was actively used to collaborate and contribute and interact with someone else's content. So if you see someone is posting a great content or anything, speak your mind. If you have a different opinion there, you agree with that. Like a lot of people like that thing, okay, we like this, but they don't like to share their thought. Could be for multiple reasons. They might think, I am a fresher, but I will put an impact, or maybe that I'm thinking something that could be very silly. So people just resist putting comments or their thought. That is like one thing everyone should do. And even that, like 10 people are saying the same thing, if you also get that same idea or image when you see someone's content, post about it, talk about it. So I think I was very involved, not just with my own content, with someone else content as well. I used to many times, it will happen, my own post won't do well, but I go in someone else post, do a comment, and that comment is getting a lot more likes. So people are actually relating to with that comment or thought of yours. So I was actively putting my thought in different articles, blogs, wherever I feel like, okay, this is something where I can share more insight. I was getting that opportunity and doing that. And I see a lot of like interaction with my comments itself. If I go and someone has written a post about how you should maintain your data clarity, or how you should maintain your data warehouse, I go put a comment, people are associating with that content more. So I think that eventually became and channeled into into this LinkedIn top voice. And even as you ask, what other people should do if they want to build it. So if you want to build in a specific domain, become a voice of that domain. So becoming a voice is not just, it's not just you going and speaking it everyone, listen the other person as well, and become it more conversational. So then it is two people having something same opinion, sometimes different opinion. So that makes it like a community to grow. If everyone is just coming telling their own thing and just not looking at each other's thing, you cannot grow as a community. So if you like any specific topic, go talk about it and also interact with other people who are talking the same thing.
Nowadays, the youngster who is more enthusiastic or more responsible about their profession, they are looking into this type of batches, like take the badge and to grow more than the going through the Instagram beauty. They are more focused on the getting the badge on LinkedIn nowadays, because I see personally, because they more get attracted to these things in the
Yes,
professionalism.
I think that is a good thing if someone is leaving Instagram and coming on the professional side of it. So I think that is a plus.
My next point I want to discuss is, can you please recommend us any resources or the platforms where students should go once in a week or daily to enhance their skills, keep updating themselves?
Even till today, I go to certain platforms from where I started learning the content, and till today, even those platforms are really active. And I go first is how to Power BI. I think this run by Bas Dubin. He talks about different visualizations, and he always use simple Power BI native options, and think of so many creative ways for from design point of view. So how to do Power BI is one of my go-to channel. Anything related to design, I think that always helped me. Then I also follow pages like, I think there's Power BI's ideas page. Injay Park run his like I think Power BI Park is his YouTube page. He recently started this page, I think 1 or 2 years back, and his page talks about creative ideas. So maybe some of the things he posts about, talks about, you might not right away use in your report, but he always have a very interesting, unique take on something that you won't think of. Oh, you can use DAX in this way in this report. So that kind of DAX and mix of blend of visualization DAX part, I think that is something I constantly follow. Then there are mini resources as well. Like I think there's data storytelling. Gusta will do a lot of good posts. So I constantly try to take these things. And there is, I think, Brian, if you follow Brian Julius, his content is universal. He's not just talk about visualization, he just talk anything he learns about, he do a post about it, and make it like something you feel like, okay, this is something that we can also try. So his content is very organic, and you are constantly learning something new. If you want to learn fresh content, if you're starting and you want to learn Power BI from starting, I think Enterprise DNA is a very good platform to take even add on small courses and build your career. Even Coursera or these other giant platforms, they also offer good Power BI courses. But overall, I think Enterprise DNA is really good to learn the basics. And once you learn basic for innovation, Injay Park, Brian Julius, Gusta, Vast Domain, I think there are plenty of these different creators who are keep posting, sharing new ideas, and pick it up and do the same part.
Ma'am, I want to know that in your suggestion, what is the best course or the best bootcamp or the certification we can say in Power BI, like going to their official sites of the Microsoft doing the course, or going through the third party like Coursera or Udemy? What is the best way to learn?
Best way to learn is like, even I learned from Udemy and those like specific courses before, because you need more time or actual examples to learn what you are trying to do. So if you feel like you need that initial build, go and take the Power BI courses through some different platform and take a certification. Where come the Power BI certification? Now Power BI itself is a benchmark. The certification you see that people take, that BA analyst, they get Power BI certified, that shows that, okay, this person is actually compatible. So for that, Power BI is not actually giving you a like teaching you a full on course, but at the end they run a test, the examination. You have to clear that exam, and once you do, you get the certificate. So that can help you to build and to have a reputation in the industry that hey, Power BI told us that I know these 10 things. But even without that is not mandatory. Even without that, if you can prove your skills just by pure knowledge that you have and the skills you have, you don't really need a certificate to prove or show that I know this thing. That is just to give you a push in the industry. That's all. But if you want to learn everything, I think taking a course to have the actual knowledge or the background of that option that you're learning about, that is very important. So always focus on learning rather than certificates. Certificates you'll get over the time. Even if you don't get, you'll know the answer what you're supposed to do. So never run behind the certificate of it. Just learn from where you can get the best in.
Because I also notice one thing, that the certificates from we do from the courses or certification that we do from the Coursera or the Udemy or any other third party website, that are not more valuable than the certificates or courses we do from their official website, because they have the exam. We have to crack that exam and then only we get that certificate. So more about the authenticity for the recruiter. They see this thing that from where you have completed. If you have completed from their official website, then that will be really valuable for them.
But that's where the portfolios help. Like a certificate, as you said, why people want certificate. They want authenticity. This person is claiming they know Power BI. Do they really know Power BI? So even if you don't have a certificate, but you have a really good portfolio of your own, your portfolio is speaking that I know Power BI. You don't have to, like, without certificate. Also, your work is telling that I know all these same points. So that's why a portfolio building is really important. That with or without certificate, you will always stand out among the crowd.
Next advice I want you from that is, as a senior employer, so what mistakes that you see from the freshers more, that they do this type of mistake repeatedly, and this is the major mistake they do while entering the industry. How should they avoid this mistake?
So even when I was fresher, one mistake people don't do as a fresher is they're very afraid of asking questions. So I noticed freshers don't really go and ask too many questions. They feel like maybe this question is very silly, or the other person will judge me or something or different. But they're very afraid of asking questions. Maybe I'll get scolded, or it's like a school. So you always need to be very bold. If you have a thought, speak about it. But when your manager will truly appreciate you, if you ask 20 questions from your manager, they will happily answer. But deliver the work that your manager wants you to help them with, deliver a certain work. So if you're delivering that work, they will be really happy. Ask 20 questions, ask 40 questions. But if you ask those 40 questions, or if you don't ask and then you deliver something which they have to go again feedback, that process, that where I think a lot of mistake happen, and you just then your manager, like, it becomes an image. Okay, yeah, maybe this resource is not that helpful, or we have to teach this fresher a lot, this and that, because maybe it is very common. Initially, if I go and ask someone, write a documentation, maybe they don't know what is a documentation. It could be as simple as writing an email. You don't know how to write an email. So if you have those sort of questions, either ask the person or do work in shorter phases. Let's say someone told me, Kavita, please write a documentation. I don't know what is a documentation. So I will do 10% or 20% of that task, and I send it back to my manager. Hey, I'm taking this approach. Before I'll do some research, I'll go on Google or platforms. What is a documentation? From that inspiration, I'll do that work. I'll send my manager that, hey, I'm taking this direction. Is it correct? Should I proceed with this kind of work? If they say go ahead, then I'll continue that. Okay, I'm in right direction. Or maybe they will stop me right away. No, this is not what we want. Please do this. So that kind of attitude in yourself only will help you build your career. Okay, this person didn't knew, but they were keep on trying. They were doing their own research and coming with solutions, rather than a person who didn't ask question, didn't do anything, and then be like, we didn't know how to do it. So if you just say we didn't know how to do it, the other person be like, yeah, I like, it's not school now. The other person won't sit there and teach you. They also have their tasks. So as a fresher, I think one thing you can do is be proactive, ask questions, do your own research, and always think you know the best. You never need to think that other person is expert or they know better. I always have this mindset. Whenever my manager or senior give me any task, I think I know the best. Whatever I'm doing, I have to help them. So I think, okay, they don't know, I know the better. So I always put my 200% effort. Okay, I'm the only one who is going to do this task, and it eventually build that kind of quality, and then other people feel, okay, she is responsible enough for her own work. So you have to build that rapport over the time. Then you will transition from fresher to a professional or expert in your career.
Yeah, it's very important in your as a fresher. You can do the mistakes, more, but don't repeat the same mistake every time. Doing the mistake is not bad thing, but try to do the mistake every time, the different mistake. From that only you get to learn more. And don't be hesitate to ask anything to your senior level officers.
How I can stand out among the crowd. Like one of the great example for that is if you take Gusta, dude, like if you have seen his report or his page, like he built his dashboard with a specific color scheme, a specific dashboard layout. If you have seen, like it is a dark theme he used with blue or a certain blue and green color. So even a mile away, if I see like from 10,000 dashboard, I will immediately spot, okay, this dashboard is created by Gusta. Even if someone else is creating, I'll say, okay, you copied this design from Gusta. Like he created his brand just with that color scheme or that. Like people recognize him with that. So if you want you to be recognizable in certain thing, it could be as small as just font colors, font families, or spacing between. Let's say you are very good in picking up font families, like you know which two font family pairs is really good. So every time you create a report, always take the always try to bring that kind of skill that you have. You are very good with different font family. So if anyone will see that report, they will say, hey, Chaitanya always create report. The way he use fonts or the way he bolds certain thing, make a text italic, that is very unique. So it will eventually become your brand. So you don't have to force yourself, okay, this I want to become a brand. Whatever you like, whatever you are good at, it could be as small as font, as small as color, could be anything. If you like doing that thing, always try to innovate in that same thing. So eventually people will also notice, okay, this person, whatever report is create, this part is always unique. And that then people start associating you with that point, and then you can build a brand of yourself. People will know you with your name, just not another dashboard they see on screen.
Yeah, it's very important because while editing the video, I also noticed that if you follow any font in 2 to 3 fonts, it becomes the brand. Like whenever just I open any one videos, that I get noticed that yeah, this video is from this person or this creator because of their font or because of their way of showing them the font size or the fonts. It is very important that you should follow the single font or 2 to 3 font in your entire portfolio, so it will look really nice for the recruiter also.
But don't force it, force you. Like if you just start it only, like I say, I want to build a brand on something, but how will you do it? So just do it organically, whatever you like, just take that thing and see what you can do around it. And is there a possibility? Like for example, the hashtag weekly chart that we mentioned, I never thought of starting it at that point. But if you see why that series did so well, if you see all my post template and color scheme was constant. I was using red color at that point of time, and like at that point, like if someone see a red color infographic, they knew it is coming from me. It is a hashtag weekly chart. So I associated myself with the red color at that point of time, and it was like because no one is using entire red in a like report. Like red is always very small, subtly in something. So I went ahead. I created an entire infographic with red color only, like red scheme dominant. So whenever it is coming on your feed, it automatically either catch your attention because that is a red color. I did that deliberately. And second, just started associating with, okay, hashtag weekly chart is getting posted. So you don't have to do that right away, but always in subtle, because I knew, okay, I want to do something with red color. I had that much clarity because at that point, whenever I used to go on LinkedIn, everything was in blue, green color. So I was very bored out where like why people are using so much blue and green, because that color itself, look good. There's no deny even, right now, our name is written in some purple color, which is, sort of blue family. So these colors always look really good in different contrasts. So my first idea was I want to do something with red color. Then I picked the content that really excites me or, I'm interested about. And then I built content, I posted, and eventually that the smallest idea I picked up that started resonating with my content. So always keep one thing consistent that you're really passionate about, and then experiment and innovate around things. So people will automatically notice, okay, this person do this one.
I want to mention one important point who is watching, that all the freshers, that we are talking about the color pattern and the fonts, but guys, this is the secondary part. Okay, the primary part is you have to extract the data properly, you have to work on the data at the back end, and you have to create the reports properly. This is the primary stage. In secondary stage, you have to think about the colors and the fonts. Don't go with the colors and the fonts in first only, because
they're just putting colors.
Yeah, because moreover we discuss about this thing only. If anyone get wrong influenced by us, that was the not thing, that that, but you have to first primary thing that you have to focus more on the about your data and the charts and the graphs of what you followed, and this is the secondary part about the colors and the font. I want to mention this.
I mean, as I said, like 80% of your Power BI work, no one will get to see. Like that is the backend thing. Like no one can see your Power Query editing, the tables you have created, how well you have organized your DAX measures, if you have put comments there. Like no one will get to see. They will get to see the 20% colors or design that you're showing to the people. So that 20% really creates the impact, but you have that self satisfaction that you know what 80% I have done and how I achieved till that point. Like let's take a very simple thing. People add images in Power BI. Like image is very common, but how you add that image creates a lot of impact. Like is it a static image? Is it a base 64 URL image? Is it a SVG image? Is this first you fetched a image from
PNG.
a website and then you're using that image? So no one will. They will just see okay there is one image, but how you know yourself that okay I to bring this image I am doing so and so practice. So that just stay hidden, but the impact will be people say, okay, this person is using a good image. How it is coming is something stays with you.
Yes. It's really important that no one sees the what we had done in the back end, and just everyone wants the result for their like reports and the visualization to make the decision. But the we have to struggle a lot, because sometimes even I face this challenge that moreover to create the dashboard, I don't get much time, but to work on the data, like clearing the data, to add the new columns, to remove the columns, to work on the data properly, like all the process takes a lot of time more than the visualization part. So it is also important to write the queries, because it depends on all the game is depend upon the query only at the back end. So you
If
know
you're
that.
not fetching the right data, but how will you bring the insight? So all that part is very, very important. Like there is no comparison to it, but once you bring it, like as I said, my focus is always on data visualization. Is now you have the data, you have done all that job. Now your next task is to tell this or to help your end user to consume this information. You know, this is what we have found. Like they are not interested if you have written one query, 10 query. They want to know the answer. Is it profitable or not? So how you're going to tell them that becomes the end point of it. So but this 80% everyone has to do, even they like or don't like. You can keep on like experimenting different things. Let's say today you have written a SQL query. Tomorrow you can write the same thing in different manner. Like let's say to add the same column, there are three ways in Power BI. You can either add a column from Power Query Editor. You can go in the data section and add a column from there, like in the data set area. You can do that. You can add a DAX column, or you can have a virtual column in your DAX itself. Like if you are writing DAX, you can use variance to variable to write a imaginary column basically, and then fetch it to do some calculation. So no one is forcing you to do all of it. But if you want to learn, want to build a portfolio, so you can keep a target for yourself. Okay, today I'll use a report using this kind of column. Next time I'll try to use a variable column. Third time I'll use this thing. So that's how you will improve or you will learn. So when we say, you should constantly learn, constantly experiment, put portfolio. So that means never, even if you're comfortable with one way, just keep on trying different thinking. But if I'll do this way, maybe that could be better, that could be worse. But you just get to learn a new approach, new idea. So never stop that learning part, but stick to the basic. Whatever is the good practice, follow always that. Like DAX is better than adding a column. If you want to add a column, add it as if you planning to do manipulation in that column, as add it as the DAX calculated column. But if you want a permanent column, add it in Power Query. So it depends what you actually are planning to do with. Like there's best practices how you should do, but it's good to experiment and see the other way around and things.
So, ma'am, last point of the discussion is the future of data visualization. Where do you see the India or the Bharat in next 5 years in the data visualization field, and how we are going to be good, or I can say the expert in the data visualization field as compared to all the European countries? Do you see that any specific software will be boom in 5 years, like any Google Data Studio or Power BI?
First thing is, I think Power BI is definitely going to boom a lot better than other tools because it has integrated with Copilot. It always has that add-on, with a part of Microsoft family. Like everyone use Microsoft 365 for basic Teams, Outlook, Excel, those things. And Power BI is just, in that same bundle, they will get a better option. So I think Power BI is definitely going to be one of the top BI tools, irrespective of what happens or not. while saying that, what is the outlook when it comes to Indian context, I actually don't see that region discrimination, because when Power BI also give this as a tool, they don't do any discrimination on the features. Like whatever features they are giving to a European country, Indian countries getting the same set of features. Like they are not releasing anything there. So I think the learning journey for us versus them is very same. So I think if we are starting learning today, a lot of experts and people can come from India as well, and have the same kind of skill and ability as you see a foreign person or a European country person. So I don't think there is any limiting in that factor. And because Power BI is slightly new, but if you take the developers or coding side, you'll see a lot of best coders, like even foreign country, like best coders you'll find in India. Because if you see a coding, like they write coding in Visual Studio Code or some sort of a specific language, that language do not do any discrimination. Everyone know, okay, this is the same syntax we have to follow, we have to write this code, and we can develop something. So in those kind of products, like in those kind of industry, I don't think region play a very big role in the development. We can all have the same ability and develop in certain sports, like in certain industry we see, okay, coming from different country make impact you. But in Power BI, I think everyone has the same platform, and you can be as equivalent and as good as someone from different countries. So never compare yourself, okay, this person is from other country, could be better. No, you the as much as knowledge you have, they also have the same knowledge, maybe just in different contexts, but it is always the same. So that is first thing. The only part I think in coming years, again as a community we can do is, if you see in other countries, they do a lot of like Microsoft Fabric conference session, community meetups, those sort of meetings help you stay up to date, build connection, collaborate with same like-minded people. In India, I see that is even like I come from Delhi, even in top cities, there is not that much collaboration happening, big conference happening, or people are coming together, all the Power BI folks, and having a meetup or just having a presentation. So I think we as people who live in India can bring that into practice and become more vocal, and eventually I think then we'll start having that journey, and everyone will recognize, and maybe then Power BI themselves will host a conference in India sometime. So I think that is of course one thing only, there is a lag, or which is lacking as of at the moment. But other than that, I think Power BI has the same scope for anyone from India versus from any country.
The reason behind this the question I want to ask, that not about the discrimination, but my last podcast I had done with one AI engineer. Okay, in AI revolution, they have the race with the European countries. If they are the Indian or they are in working in Indian market, that in AI, what is the main thing that about the machine learning part or the deep learning part? It depends upon the your mathematics, your statistics, how you deep are you into the mathematics or the statistics. Because as we are Indians, that from the school, almost from the 4th standard or the 5th standard, we have the more knowledge about the statistics part. We learn more about that. But as compared to the European countries, they have the statistics part from the 9th or 10th standard. So in AI market, there will be the race of the who will be best to who will be the best of the to configure the AI models or the AI tools that will be here. That's why I ask you this question.
Yeah, I understand that one, but I honestly I don't, because actually I maybe I might not be the right person, because so far all the companies that I have worked with due to COVID, or it's always a global company. So I only work with international client or people outside, and I just never see there is any difference in learning or anything that I feel like, okay, because just from India, I didn't get the same level. So it's very equal. So what message I'm trying to convey for all the pressure is, never think another country is better in any context. You know as much as they do. So there is no limitation in when it comes to learning anything. So if for even future outlook, just see what you can do better. If you are doing the same thing, you can get the same job, which in some other countries as well, because the skill set is same. They want someone to develop a Power BI, to create a report, to do the data analysis. If you can do that same thing from India, they won't have any problem to hiring you. So don't limit yourself from any country point of view. You can stay in India and work globally for any other country as well. So yeah, think global.
Yes. Thinking global is very important, and yeah, it's normal that in Power BI that we don't compare with others, because yeah, at the end it's a tool, and for us we are getting the 200 charts same as that they are also getting the 200 charts. They are not getting like 250 charts more
Yeah.
or the any other advanced feature than us.
Yes. The only thing is the structure always create an impact. As I said, they build connection easily because they meet with same people. They go to community fabric, so they get better job, better hiring. So that kind of difference is always there. But it is just, every country has their own economic structure. But if I go today and I go with anyone, from globally, I know what they are doing in Power BI, but I do that. It is pretty similar. In some contexts, it might be different, but overall, the work we are doing is pretty same. So it is the same thing. You always think you're competing with everyone. It's not just Indian people. If you are working in Power BI, automatically you are a global person. And these challenges, everything, I think it also helps. Like most of these people, everyone from all the different countries, people join and collaborate and build report. And I'm very happy to see many times I see a lot of Indian people do a lot better. And the amount of entries we see from Indian is way more in abundant than other countries. So that is a good sign that a lot more Indian people are going towards this industry. So I think volume will always be high.
Yes, and also I want to one point that is about the your portfolio Novia Pro. If anyone wants the inspiration about the dashboards or anything, just visit. I will put the link in the description of the Kavita ma'am's portfolio from Novia Pro. You can visit that portfolio. You will get really varieties of the dashboard and the inspiration from it. So do watch it also.
Like I always encourage, if someone is watching this, they can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am very proactive and I try to answer each and individual person to their query as much as I possible. I am very open to that. So even if someone is watching this podcast or have any specific question or anything they want to learn better, always feel free to message me as a Onyx Data ambassador, as a Power BI ambassador, or just in person. I'm always free to answer those different queries. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Please let me know in the comment which guest would you like to see on this podcast and any specific topics you would like us to discuss with them. We will try to bring those guests and ask your questions so you will get more helpful information. Before you go, share this episode with someone. It might really help them because one conversation can change a person's life, giving them a new idea and direction. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in next video.